Good evening and a very warm welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Supachon Klinsawan. Today, firefighters and rescue units took 7 solid hours to control the burning LPG tanker, which hit a bridge on Pathanakan Road, overturned and caught fire. This is not the first time this type of accident has occurred in Bangkok. However, today's incident saw no fatalities, though 3 people were injured. At 5 a.m. this morning, a tanker carrying about 4,000 liters of liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, crashed into a bridge near Pathanakan Sois 20 to 22. Flames rose nearly 5 stories into the sky and took 7 hours to bring under control. Police had to block traffic for 2 kilometers in all directions approaching the site. Windows and roof tiles of nearby buildings were shattered by the explosion. The driver fled the scene. PTT safety officials claim the flammable gas did not spread into nearby communities like it did in the 1990 accident. On September 24, 1990, a similar incident occurred on New Phetchaburi Road in downtown Bangkok. The escaping gas spread over a wide area, and the subsequent ignition of a gas killed 59 people. Almost 2 decades later, an NGV tanker crashed in Nonthaburi and killed 1 person at the scene. An LPG tanker also turned over on Rama 2 Road in 2008 and another in Nakhon Ratchasima 2 years later. These 2 cases saw no casualties. Another tanker accident in Nakhon Ratchasima in early 2011 killed 3, and the most recent tanker incident prior to this morning was in Pathum Thani, which closed off traffic for half a day. Despite imposing stricter measures after the 1990 LPG incident, such as not allowing tankers to enter densely occupied areas during rush hour and increased safety standards for vehicles and drivers, accidents in energy transports are still in somewhat regular occurrence in this country. And now moving on to our second news. Building houses encroaching onto land reserved for public canals is one of the main reasons canals in Bangkok cannot be expanded for better drainage. If authorities insist on dredging or expanding the canals, then canal-side houses may collapse. Therefore, community participation is the key solution. Here's more from Kun Darin Klong Akara.
ที่เป็นห่วงคือชุมชนหนาแน่นชายคลองปลูกบ้านเป็นชายคลองมากค่ะเพราะว่าพอตักดินเนี่ยบ้านโค่นลงไปนะคะเดี๋ยวต้องไปดูนะต้องไปแก้ไขตรงนี้ค่ะ
Locals living behind Kasetsat University are worried that the water drainage officials expanding and dredging of the canals next to their houses will affect her livelihoods. From the officials' perspective, if the canals are not dug up, locals' livelihoods will surely see a repeat of the 2011 floods. However, what City Hall can do is dredge in the middle of the canal instead, because widening the size can render the adjacent houses unsafe. However, at the canal side community behind Japancese Confidence University, our residents have now agreed to move their houses 2 meters back from the canals to pave way for the Bangkok office to expand the canal. Residents of the Bang Bua community just behind ThaiPBS headquarters say they are confident that if there were to be massive floods in 2012, they will not be severely affected, as residents whose houses encroach onto canals are now renting another plot of land prepared by the state. Associate Professor Seri Suparatit says expanding canals to drain massive amounts of water is essential if Bangkok wishes to put behind them memories of 2011 floods. However, these decisions must be made with the community's agreement. An Interior Ministry survey shows some 350,000 people are living in more than 1,200 low-income crowded communities in Bangkok. 1 in 6 of the communities encroach on rivers and canals. Therefore, before starting to think about how to expand these canals, those responsible might want to consider a plan B for canal-side residents relocated first. Darin Klong Akara, Thai PBS.
Thank you, Kundarin. The government and many related agencies were criticized by the public on how they failed to handle the 2011 flood situation, especially in terms of information dissemination. The executive director of the Science and Technology Institute in Japan suggests that the Thai government must inform people about flood disasters precisely without any hidden agendas. Kun Karnkorn Raktham reports.
The National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA, has launched its annual conference, otherwise known as NAC 2012, held from March 23rd to 28th. This year's title is Science and Technology Knowledge, Key to Effective Disaster Response. Today, the conference was attended by Professor Maki Kawi, Executive Director of RIKEN, the Institute of Physical and Chemical Research in Japan, along with Dr. Royon Sitdon, Director of Hydro and Agroinformatics Institute, or HAII, to share knowledge and experience on using science and technology to cope with natural disasters. Professor Maki Kawi says lessons learned from the massive earthquake which triggered a deadly tsunami in Japan last year. It is obvious that without precise disaster prediction, natural disaster can cause extensive damage, so the Thai government should create awareness about the floods among the public before it happens.
It is like how to tell this perspective to the people, and together with how to survive with this damage. So if you are told, for instance, if I am told that with 90% probability your house will be flooded under the water, and then it causes us a fear. But if simultaneously if somebody will tell, because of this, you have to escape to that place, and then you will be safe.
HAII is an institute which plays a crucial role in informing people about storm tracking, water, weather, and rainfall through the use of satellite pictures. During the 2011 floods, Dr. Royon, Director of HAII, says after the flood, he has been studying the information systems for agriculture and water resource management from other countries to remodel the recent system. He expects to complete the work by May.
Start to work together since last week. We start to upgrade or remodel that we already have to get more accurate output that what is going on.
The experience of the flood crisis last year has taught the government and all related organizations, as well as people living in the flooded areas, that perhaps precise information about the floods can ease the damage, as well as enhance the government's future credibility. Karnkorn Raktham, Thai PBS.
Thank you, Kun Karnkorn. Japanese companies have been affected the most by the floods in 2011. Even so, more than 60% have started resuming their production lines. Dr. Rungtipchot Napalai talked to Setsuo Iachi, president of the Japan External Trade Organization, or JETRO, who pointed out that Japanese investors will retain investment in Thailand, and Thailand should have confidence and prepare to be the center of ASEAN.
Many companies want to stay in Thailand as much as possible, or some of them want to expand production here. But only some companies may shift their production, some part of their production to other countries because they have concentrated too much in Thailand, so they have to disperse their risk to other countries.
But you just came back from Myanmar, and you see any opportunities of investment there?
Well, actually, we see still lack of infrastructure in terms of hard infrastructure such as electricity shortage or water shortage, and also financial system and so on. But they have 60 million people, diligent workers, and will to develop their country. So we want to see more opportunities in the near future.
And in terms of Thailand, we are going towards the AEC in 2015. For our SMEs, any suggestion for our SME to prepare ourselves?
Well, we don't know clearly what will be the picture after AEC, but definitely SMEs and other companies have to prepare themselves, maybe by training their people to improve their productivity or quality of their goods and services, as well as finding some niche market for SMEs, because Thailand has a power of designing, for example. So I think there will be more room for companies to brush up their products and services. Actually, Thailand should increase their resources for education and also science and technology to increase the quality of their products and services.
Anything you would like to add that you say like about the confidence?
Well, Thailand is the center of Mekong region, but at the same time, it should be the center of ASEAN countries, and as well as expanded ASEAN, like ASEAN plus 3 countries, ASEAN plus 6 countries. There's a discussion to expand the EPAs to the greater region. So I think Thailand should be more confident about themselves to be the center of the region, bigger region.
The Foreign Correspondent Club of Thailand, or FCCT, this evening held its annual dinner talk, and this year Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra was the keynote speaker, and our reporter who was covering the event, Kun Bandit Ket Bandit, is now on the line with us. Good evening, Kun Bandit.
Good evening, Kun Supachon.
Right, so was there anything essential during the Q&A sessions between the foreign reporters and the Prime Minister?
Yes, as we are speaking, Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra met with Foreign Correspondents Club of Thailand just a moment ago to address the topic on Thailand's challenges after last year's floods. The Prime Minister started off her keynote speech asking the audience, and I quote, "to be kind to me," end quote. Over the span of a brief address, the Prime Minister touched upon 5 topics, namely national reconciliation, constitution amendment, flood prevention measures, women empowerment, and education. The Prime Minister's speech was then immediately followed by a Q&A session. Among many very interesting and direct questions that were thrown at the Premier, the Prime Minister was asked what would happen after May when the 111 banned politicians from the now defunct Thai Rock Thai Party returned, and if she would still remain the country's leader. Prime Minister Yingluck responded ambiguously, stating that when the time for the next cabinet reshuffle comes, it will depend on those individuals' decision if they want to hold a position in the cabinet, as well as if they can meet the qualifications required. But more interestingly, Kun Supachon, Prime Minister Yingluck did not deny that someone could replace her as the Prime Minister if that person is seen as a stronger candidate. Her reply seems to have a hidden message, Kun Supachon, and we might see a new leader when the time comes. This will most likely make the headline of tomorrow's newspapers, Kun Supachon.
Right, thank you, Kun Bandit. And until now, the Prime Minister, I believe, is still speaking. So that, I believe, is the first time that anybody has ever asked her in public about her status after the 111 former Thai Rak Thai executives passed their 5-year political ban. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. We'll see you again next week. I'm Supachon Klinsawan. Good night. Sawadee krap.